And here we have JF spawning in the top right corner of the map in a nice shade of purple, and F91 spawning in brown in the bottom left hand corner. And for the fourth straight game, F91 will be able to scout directly towards JF's main. And I mean, well, that's the fact that this is a two-player map. Yeah, there's not too much to say about this map other than this is a relatively old map now, and is considered one of the better maps of the 2007 season. It does appear that these guys had some lag in this game, as you can see there from what JF is typing. And I mean, that's one of the beauties of having a 1.161 out and actually working first-person reps, not first-person replays with text. So yeah, this map should be very interesting. We can see here that JF is actually going to be sending his probe out a little late. That may be because of the dialogue, but you know, he's building his probe at 9 as opposed to 8. So either he's going for a double 9 gate, which is unlikely given the map, but or he's just really, you know, been delayed in his being able to put his pylon down. Meanwhile, it looks like F91 will be going for an overpull build, which will be sufficient to give enough pressure on JF to force him to build additional cannons. Ideally, too. And so, yeah, it's going to force JF to build his Forge first, and yes, there it is. His Forge it comes down, and he will have to wait it out until that's done and add 2 cannons, then his Nexus, and he will be completely safe from the Speedling push. That's the great thing about the Speedlings. I mean, it's kind of elementary for most of the Team Liquid users, but for those of you who don't know, getting those Speedlings out early forces the Protoss to build cannons, forces them to go Forge first, which slows down the economy overall. And then the Zerg quickly follows that up with expansion at the natural, expansion at the mineral only, and then they can go into full economic mode. And once you get the economy running, I mean, it's basically on even terms. I mean, there's no real advantage you can gain from the 9 pull except the potential for pressure. And so here we go. We got the first few larvae being converted into lings, so we will be seeing some ling pressure. Interestingly enough, it looks like JF will be going for a Nexus first. He has saved up 400 minerals. No, he'll put a cannon down first, then he will build his Nexus, then probably another cannon like he did in Destination. Waiting on the 400 minerals, 370, 380, 400, and there goes the Nexus. I mean, that's a pretty good wall that he's got there, although there is a big gaping hole on the right-hand side, so he is slightly vulnerable to a ling run by here, so JF should be careful, and I would strongly recommend adding a second cannon to be able to defend from any kind of run by. And here come the lings now, and as a matter of fact, those lings have actually dodged JF's scouting probe. So JF does not know there is about 4 more lings than he... JF knows there are 2 lings on the way. However, there are 4 other lings that are going across that he doesn't know about, so I don't think he's quite prepared for this. Okay, the gateway is in place to block out the big gaping hole on the right. However, without a second cannon, this runby is going to be very effective like it was in the Destination game, and he runs right past the cannon, straight into the main, and this is even going to be worse than the Destination game. 4 lings is almost an unfathomable advantage towards F91. That is an amateur mistake there by JF not being able to hold his choke there. Must be very frustrating for JF right now. And those Zergling going to be able to do a lot of damage. Picking up 1 probe, it is really slowing down JF's ability to mine now. It's really unfortunate. This could have gone on for much longer, but this is a significant setback for him. It's going to put everything in his build behind, and as you can see back in F91's main, he's actually adding a lair, and that's probably going to be followed up with Spy Tech. I mean, Red, welcome back. What do you think about 4 lings managing to run by?
Yeah, it looks like I missed quite a bit of action. That's obviously a huge deal, and he's killing a lot of probes. I'm not sure how many he took down, but Jeff looks to be really low on probes right now, and there's only 1 ling left, but this was obviously a huge setback for Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, the JF has been put so far behind. His tech is very late. That lair is halfway done, and JF doesn't even have a cybernetics core in sight. And he has 19 supply, 2 of which are a Zealot. I mean, that speaks volumes. Those 4 links have put him far behind, and JF has got to be kicking himself right now for such an amateur mistake.
Did F91 open up with the overpull?
Yes, he did.
I guess, I'm not sure why JF only made 1 cannon, but he should have known that's not enough to stop links from running by into his main.
Yeah, it may have been the fact that he did miss 4 lings leaving the main because his probe was out of position at that time, but still, it's it's kind of inexcusable to only put one cannon down when he did in fact go for an overpull. I mean, safety has got to weigh far more heavily than a small marginal advantage in only building one cannon.
And we see that F91 is getting speed for his lings, and he has about 10 right now, killing this one zealot that is trying to harass the third base of F91. He did get one probe, and he did see that there was about 12 lings, so he's putting down a second cannon, but there are no units making, and once speed is done, I bet there's going to be another run by, and this is going to be extremely dangerous for JF.
In the meantime, F91 is in fact building a Spire, so he'll have Mutalisks on the way, and they're going to be very effective. Purely because JF's tech is so far behind. I mean, his Stargate has only just started warming. Here comes the links, and oh my god, I can't believe that choke was completely undefended. The one cannon goes down. GG by JF. Oh, wow, what a game.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing play by JF. I mean, he saw all those links with his zealot. I'm not sure what he was thinking. I mean, it should have been obvious that F91 was going to either run by or just kill his single cannon, but he was just too late with the second cannon, and I guess that makes for an easy win.
Yeah, well, after that destination game, I mean, he could be quite frustrated, perhaps, in his inability to get that third base up, and the fact that his Templars continually got sniped. Then in that Bluestorm game, and there was quite a bit of discussion early on and JF was complaining about lag in game, and it may be that that was starting to get to him, and he was starting to get frustrated with it. He did put his pylon down late, even. It came at 9 supply instead of 8, and I mean, that's the first time we've seen him miss that timing in this series, so there are definitely signs that JF is getting really frustrated with his opponent here, and I mean, that's great psychological play here by F91. I mean, in these long series, player psychology factors in quite heavily.
Yeah, especially in a best of 7, I mean, the state of mind of a player can really affect the way they're playing, and the previous game have a huge impact on how you feel about your own play and about your opponent's play. And being destroyed that badly in the game on destination may have made him feel like, in combination with the lag, that he's just gotten a little demotivated and started making some pretty basic mistakes there. But then again, those Ling run-bys do happen quite often, and even happen to the best players, so it's just something that can happen, and unfortunately it happened to JF that game.
Yeah, so we'll leave that miserable game behind us and move on to the 5th game in our series, on Shin Chupan Ryong. I love this map. It's a great innovative map, and it's got quite a lot of complexity to it with interplay of high and low ground. On top of that, you've got the double entrance natural, similar to Rush Hour, which kind of makes Hydra pushes a little more effective than they usually would be. Any comments you want to make about this matchup on this map?
Well, considering it's another 2-player map, I'm gonna assume that F91 is gonna once again send his Overlord into the right direction. I think he may set a record with that, of actually sending his Overlord to the right position in every single game so far, and I think that in itself is pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, here's hoping JF puts on a better show than he did last game, and I hope he is able to collect himself and calm himself down and move on to this game and really showcase why he is the TSL champion. Against D-Not, he was down 3-1, I believe, and came back to win 4-3, so don't count him out just yet. And again, TSL, I mean, he was down 2-0 against Draco. I mean, this guy is the champ of coming back. So hopefully he's got the psychology to keep it going and, bash the crap out of F91, but we'll see.